Let's get into the bullshit immediately. Benzino did a Drake move. So if you guys remember Drake, when he was beefing with Meek Mill, he dropped 2 diss tracks back to back. That's why the second diss track is titled Back to Back. Back to back. Yeah, so he dropped Charged Up back to back. Benzino decided to drop 2 tracks. The one that I reviewed in the last episode, Vulturous or whatever it's called. And then the second one is called Rap Elvis. Yes, Rap Elvis. This is nothing new from Benzino. If you've ever followed the Benzino beef, like I said, you can watch my Eminem versus Benzino, Who Really Won video. If you ever follow the beef, Benzino's take on Eminem is basically, he's a white guy, taken from our culture, which, it's a race thing with him, unfortunately. He brings up that, Elvis basically took all the shine and props and respect for rock and roll. And, back then it was easier to do that. It was easier to, because there wasn't much media, and obviously way more racism back then, and it would be easier to switch the whole narrative of what culture is what. Now in today's time, I don't think that would ever happen, and Eminem's never shown signs or intention to ever do that. He's given props to everyone that came before him, loves the newer artists as well, shows love to them, has put on a lot of artists, which we'll talk about on this track. He actually mentions artists that Eminem has failed to put on, and so I never got that the vibes of Eminem, him being Elvis, like Elvis pretty much stole what was black culture at the time with rock and roll, and it kind of got lost. So yeah, let's go over the bars, because I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on the track after, but it's surprised me, let's just say that. So let's start with the verse. Rock and roll was a black thing until Elvis came and made it different. That's self-explanatory. You can't self-sustain. You too selfish. Wait and listen. You keep saying my name. You put yourself in this position. The funny part about this is Benzino keeps mentioning him in interviews, because Eminem would have never responded had he not kept mentioning him in interviews. This is what happens when the Celtics play the Pistons, which I enjoy this line because I'm a basketball fan. And of course, the Boston Celtics, Benzino's from Boston. Boston Celtics are a way better, NBA organization or team than Detroit Pistons are. Obviously, with Boston Celtics have the second most championships, or I think they're tied with the Lakers. I could be wrong on that. Lakers might have one more championships than them, but it's Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics as having the most championships in the NBA. So he's saying basically, I'm way ahead of you. This is the Boston Celtics versus Detroit Pistons. And if you guys haven't been keeping track of the NBA season this year, the Detroit Pistons have only won like 5 games and lost like 40. So they're doing horrible right now. Continuing on, he says, I was minding my business. He wasn't making any type of noise these days. So a choice was made. Clout chase Benzino and Coi Leray. You still in your annoying phase. Hey, what you call it when a man stands, that's a stand. Help me coin the phrase. That's like a pretty cool bar. But then on the track, like with the production, it sounds like he's a little offbeat. I don't know if it's just me, but that's what he sounds a little bit on the track. But like lyrically, I like it. I am the culture. You won't even be around. That's funny, because we obviously know Eminem will, and he's already made his impact. You won't even come outside. We won't even see your town. I swear Vezo said that M don't be showing the city love. Why you ain't got no words for him? He in your city, bruv. That, hey man, that was pretty hard. I do agree that and this reference a video back to 2020 when I swear Vezo said that Eminem was out of touch, comparing ways that he showed support to Royce recently. Vezo revised his comments, though. We were never in touch with Eminem. He explains, in the hood, in our ghettos and shit, back when he first came out, Eminem was like a hero for us, he explained. So we expected to see him and to be able to touch him. And we're like, yeah, we got somebody that got out from Detroit. This is about to go down. He opened the gates up, but it didn't go that way. We always wanted M to play the position that Royce the 5'9" played, but he doesn't, so he's not a hero for us no more, Vezo admits. Royce the 5'9" is like a president of the Marshall Mathers Foundation. He's from the hood. You're able to see him. He's going out, come out. He fucked with a lot of guys. He reached out. He checked out on us. He pulled up to studios. He pulled up to the club. We can call him, and he's pulling up right now. Royce the real G man. So, Eminem. Here's the thing, though. Eminem is such a big figure. Like, I don't think people realize the status Eminem is at. Like, anywhere he goes would cause a chaos because it's Eminem. Eminem is one of those last artists that have this aura around them. Like I was talking actually with Tafili, if you guys remember him from the podcast. I was actually talking to him about like celebrities and their aura and how it's missing in today's time because of social media. So the last like era that we got like this amazing aura from artists where like you would be like, wow, like, oh my God, this artist was like in the 2000s. After that, like in the late 2000s started to fade away because of social media. So Eminem was part of that aura where, you know, if you saw him around, like everybody would crowd and go crazy. Nowadays, yeah, if celebrities walk around, certain ones, they'll get attention, but not like back then. Like back then, like Michael Jackson had the whole store shut down. Madonna, whoever at the time was big. It was different because you would see them a lot less. You would only see them on the TV whenever they did interviews, and that was rare. And so it's different, you know. So I Swear Vezo is just basically saying, listen, Eminem, you know, he ain't tapped in like that. He's just Eminem. He's himself, and he stays out the way. Which I can understand why Eminem does that. But, I mean, he's, you know, Benzino's right in what he's saying about, hey, this guy criticized you and you haven't said shit to him. And that's the interesting thing about Eminem. But I'll get into it a little bit later. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I wonder why we want to see, just say something, please. Couldn't it be possibly that you ain't really from the streets? I was born and raised in my city. You shouldn't come from me. You should have come from me. I don't know where you're from, but they say misery loves company. So you say misery, same type of shit. I'm probably more Detroit than you because these real guys know me. I was YBI in 86. Yeah, that's my OG. That's Young Boys Inc. That was a drug cartel back in the 80s. Four Corners, Columbia Point. My young boys had on Dexter with the boys close to me. So this is some bars that people couldn't, because I'm on Genius right now reading the bars. So they couldn't see what that is. Okay, you found 50 and put 5 Detroit guys. Rest in peace to the best one. The rest of them sound iffy. So let's go down your stable. Gun left your... Okay, so this is where he goes in on Shady Records not really being... He didn't really put on a lot of people, and they didn't succeed. It was only 50 Cent that succeeded. So that's where he goes on that rant. He says this. So let's go down your stable. Gun, Westside Gun left your label. Benny left your label. Benny the Butcher. Conway the Machine left your label. Royce left your label. Joe Budden left your label. Ortiz left your label. Crooked Eye couldn't save you. Yellow Wolf been out here flopping. Yellow Wolf isn't even signed to Eminem anymore. So, and where the hell Cash has been at, though? Only heard from Obi Trice only twice, and not a word from Stat Quo. With all them false lines that you pitched them, Shady Records sound less like a name and more like a description. Stop it. A chain here, a feature there. Besides that, what did he do? Hey, here's... You know, this is the problem with a lot of label owners is, especially if it's an artist that owns a label, it's not like, you know, if Jimmy Iovine doesn't get a successful artist, they don't blame Jimmy Iovine, they blame the artist, or Jimmy Iovine doesn't get dragged into it when it comes to Interscope Records, when he was the CEO. But when you're an artist of a label and you're the face of it, you will get dragged for your artist not succeeding, and your artist will speak about that. So he's saying, you know, Eminem's getting the flack for these artists not succeeding. But how is that on Eminem's shoulders? I've always wondered that. It's like Eminem's put his stamp on everything that he can put his stamp on and push it as much as he could. And, you know, Obi Trice did his thing. Obi Trice had the second best success on Shady Records. You know, D12 as a group, they did pretty good with the albums, you know. But, you know, D12 never really got to do a lot of solo albums. You know, and then, you know, he signed the new Shady 2.0 with Yellow Wolf, Slaughterhouse. That never really materialized into anything. They dropped Welcome to Our House, which I thought was an amazing album. But I mean, I think Eminem spoke on this a few times. Like, he can't, you know, he can only push as much as he can push. He can't, like, force people to enjoy, you know, and 50's talked about this. And Lil Wayne even talked about this. Like, I can help as much as I can help, but if people ain't fucking with you and it just doesn't connect, doesn't hit, and the artists themselves have to do the work as well. So, this, though, nobody really mentioned Eminem, so that's why I enjoyed, like, I actually enjoyed this diss track, believe it or not. I don't think it was, obviously, nothing close to what Eminem can do, but it surprised me. It's way better than what most artists have delivered, believe it or not. And it's so good that people in the comments are clowning Benzino and saying, who ghost wrote this? Because they don't believe Benzino can write this, which I believe he could. But those lines were great. I mean, Cassius, yeah, we never really heard of him. We had him introduced in 2006. He was young. You don't know, bro. Like, that's insane. You're with Eminem, 50, and Banks. And he actually did his thing on that record. Never heard of him again. Obi Trice, you know, had his run. I think Obi Trice situation, this is my opinion, the Obi Trice situation, I think Eminem's influence was too heavy on Obi Trice. Because if you listen to the first album, it has way too much Eminem type of influence. He should have let Obi do his thing, just like how he let 50 do his thing. I think Obi would have been a lot bigger had he just let Obi kind of be Obi. And I would love to get Obi Trice for an interview to talk about that, because I think he's in Atlanta. I could be wrong. That might be stat quo. But yeah, I think that's kind of the problem with Obi Trice. But then everybody else, Slaughterhouse, I think he did, he let Slaughterhouse do their thing. A lot of these artists do their thing. They just never really popped off. Continuing on, he says, and why does this cat don't get the type of criticism that Diddy do? Huh? Y'all see what all this corny rap shit do to you. Since you so hip-hop, you should have went to Nipsey's funeral. I don't know what that's got to do anything. Nipsey and Eminem don't really have a connection like that. So if you support 50, then why didn't you go to Smoke's funeral? He's talking about Pop Smoke. City on Diddy, Pop Smoke. Rest in peace to him. It's different, man. With Eminem at that level, that's the thing that Benzino doesn't understand. There's certain artists at a certain level, if they show up, they usually garner all the attention. It's kind of, it's a slippery slope, but that has nothing to do really with Eminem. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Pop Smoke was only famous for about 4 or 5 months before, I'm sure in the future, had he been alive right now in today's time, he would have met Eminem by now. They would have kicked it. Eminem probably would have gave him a feature. Like, Pop Smoke had endless superstar power. Like, that guy was going to go to the next. I'm telling you, that song, City of Angels, I think it's called, or City of God, the Fabio form with Alicia Keys and Kanye West, that New York City, please go easy on me tonight. That record, if it was instead of Fabio Foreign, Pop Smoke on that record, Pop Smoke would have been a huge superstar. That record would have skyrocketed him to the next level. Like, that's the potential that record had. But Fabio was on it. No disrespect to Fabio, but he's not Pop Smoke. So, and you spitting gumballs, boy, I really throw two at you. Talk about I catch a stray, you pull it and squeeze. I've been shot multiple times. What's a bullet to me? Looking at me, trust my process. I'm here croaking these streets. You missed the season like rookie and Embiid. So I guess the lyrics aren't here, but you missed the season like rookie and Embiid. You call our women black bitches, then play victim when there's distrust. That's an old audio. We talked about this a long time ago. You keep using art form that we created to diss us. Eminem isn't dissing people that don't talk shit about him, Benzino. Come on, man. I need to get Benzino on this podcast. I'm going to reach out to Benzino and see. I really want to talk to him about these diss tracks. They try to rewrite history. You make Elvis of hip-hop, but in stores, Slim should be on shelves next to Slipknot. He was, by the way. You say you come from battle rap, but why don't you support none of these battle cats? Drake be at the smack events where your ass was at. Room full of hood guys back to back, and it's action packed. And a pop rapper smack dab in the middle. Imagine that. Last time you battled, shit was like 22 years ago. Marv Vaughn. What was the outcome of that matchup? Marv won. I'm talking about the 8 Mile movie. You've been afraid. You ain't no renegade fam, and you duck my clipper blades because you ain't with the fade fam. Me, you, Royce can box 2-on-1. You get the same hands. I'm in the trench with Ray-Bans, so when I lift them, they land. Hey, some bars right there, man. I've been a made man, you little mangy Minute Maid man. And I'm pissing all in your lyrical lemonade stand. Yeah, this is talking about the lyrical lemonade, all is yellow, the Doomsday track. My guy, Young Z, dissed you. Milkbone dissed you. Last Emperor dissed you. Pace One dissed you. Real lyricist, Biango back at them bid you. Here's the problem, and this is what I was going to say earlier. Here's the problem, is at Eminem's level, if he responds to everybody, people expect Eminem to respond to these individuals as well. No disrespect to these individuals, but I don't even know these guys. Young Z, Milkbone, and Last Emperor, Pace One. I don't know if they're battle rappers. If they are, no disrespect to you guys. I don't really pay attention to battle rap like that much. I know a few battle rappers, but that's it. I haven't really been too much into battle rap. But why would Eminem respond to these people? These people don't have like no ounce of celebrity. I'm pretty sure. I might be talking out of my ass. Regardless, this is the problem when you start responding to people is Benzino's clowning Eminem for not responding to literally everybody that's ever dissed him. And you can't do that. Eminem can't, you and Eminem have a history. That's why Eminem's going at you. You guys have a history. He has a reason to go at you. A lot of these people that diss Eminem doesn't even know them personally. Doesn't even know if they exist or not properly. Who knows? I don't know Eminem's world. But so that's a dumb thing to kind of bring up. But continuing on, because you would rather battle Pop stars, just to get your issue. You like to pick the low-hanging fruit. Let's get this clear. You diss Elton John, your mom, your ex, Britney Spears. You diss Lana Del Rey, Moby, Iggy. Not Iguodala. Is you shitting me? Will Smith, Nick Cannon, Insane Clown Posse, a retired Joe Budden. When I tell a lie, stop me. I mean, he's not telling no lies here. Machine Gun Kelly, that boy damn near whipped you. Come on, dog. How Vanilla Ice gon' diss you. If you thought your rap bars was hard, you need to grow up. You just plain Eminem. You ain't got no nuts. That was a nice line. It was funny because you just plain M&Ms, meaning like those milk chocolate M&Ms and not like the ones with peanuts in them. Nuts. That's pretty funny. This shit about to get really dark on you. Get them dogs on you, bark on you, dog on you. As soon as you log on, you got them locked on you. Like the laws on you, as soon as your thoughts dawned on you, there's a problem on your hands now because I got it solved on you. Don't make me fucking call Benzino dog on you. I ain't really outside and this recluse need to get out more. I run the outdoors and I can vouch for. Anyone that been down, I can account for. And how about your mind? And how about your mind will finally be off my neck with my hands squeezing around yours, mother, you know what? He issues, you have 48 hours to respond. I don't think Eminem's going to respond. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Eminem I don't know why he did that Doomsday Part 2. Honestly, with that title, I would have like gone at like everybody at that point. If you're going to name it Doomsday, like Doomsday is like something catastrophic. Don't just go at Benzino. Like I would have gone at everybody at that point. Anybody that said anything in the past, like a Kamikaze Type 2 type of track, to just spazzing for the next like 4 minutes. I would have enjoyed that. That would have been really crazy. But, this is the thing with responding, if you constantly respond. Eminem likes to punch really low sometimes and just troll. And that's what he's doing with Benzino because he doesn't take Benzino seriously, even though this track is actually pretty good, guys. I think anybody denying that and saying that it's not that, it's a pretty good diss track. I'm not saying it's nowhere near what Eminem has done to Benzino. Not even close. But out of all the Eminem diss tracks that's ever came out, it's definitely in the top 10. Could even potentially throw top 5. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out here. I'm not saying I have to look at all the diss tracks. Obviously, Cannabis whooped his ass quite a few times. I'm not going to lie. Eminem versus Cannabis was lyrically the most entertaining. I like Machine Gun Kelly, Rap Devil. Other than that, I don't think anybody else that I can come off the top of my head that's dissed him. Honestly, Gucci Mane had a few lines on the Obsessed remix, and Eminem never responded to that. That was pretty good. But this is a pretty, he mentioned some things that, in the last track he mentioned, Proof, which is somebody that nobody's ever really touched on. Like, even though he's, this is what I mean. He's deceased. This is my problem. These people have passed away. This is the Nicki Minaj thing with the Bigfoot talking about Megan Thee Stallion's deceased mother. This is, the same type of situation talking about somebody that's deceased. He didn't really disrespect. He didn't disrespect Proof, but he said, why didn't you spin the block for Proof? Which is, I think Eminem wanted to do that at one point. I think he had moments of that, flashes of that. And then he just kind of, went into this drug kind of depression. But I like the track. I thought it was pretty good. Out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10, which is above average. Average is 5 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 is like, it's good. That's it. It's not great. It's not, legendary. It's not, a classic by any means. But it's a good thing. It's not average. It's good. It's good. 6 out of 10. Not bad. So I enjoyed it. Hopefully, actually, no, I'm not even going to say hopefully Eminem responds. I'm kind of over this. The reason why the Melly Mel thing was interesting is because I never expected that, one, to be a beef, and then two, it was just interesting to hear Melly Mel's response. Like, this is a guy from literally the starting days of hip-hop in the late 70s, like early on. So that was interesting because it was new. The Machine Gun Kelly thing was new. This is so fucking old that, dude, I was like 7 years old when they started beefing. Like, he did his thing, but after that, let's just move on from this. I'm kind of over it. So that's my, take on this whole track and my review of it. But